just to be clear, I didn't read this before.
That's obvious from your reaction.
I didn't
You want
read. I'm like,
you want me
what
to read
the
it?
heck?
But yeah, Diddy is um basically dealing, or at least his law team, his lawyers, his new team of lawyers, I have to say, because the previous one dropped him. But
Yeah,
yeah, they have their hands full. Safe to say.
they have their hands full. Yes, because another case has popped up, and another accuser, screen star, as I call her, screen star Adria English. Don't Google, guys. Don't Google. Who says her stage name was Monique. Why do they have these crazy names? Accuses Diddy of trafficking her, claims she was hired to have um,
And
intercourse with people at his party. Another woman has come forward claiming Sean Diddy Combs groomed her into trafficking. In a lawsuit obtained by TMZ on Wednesday, Adria English claims she first met the disgraced rapper in 2004 after her then boyfriend auditioned for a Sean John modeling gig. I guess she thought she could do better. English claims her partner and another model were asked to perform. Wait a second.
You's a freaky ass nigga.
What the heck?
yeah,
Oh my god.
but these are allegations.
These are allegations, but
These are allegations.
just to be clear, I didn't read this before.
That's obvious from your reaction.
I didn't.
You want,
I'm like,
you want me
what
to read
the
it?
heck?
You want me to read it?
If you want to read it.
Because it's gonna be a slippery slope. So
Oh,
English.
you read it? Okay.
No, I
Continue.
didn't. I didn't. But I read for a living, so
Yeah.
I am literate. English claims her partner and another model were asked to perform verbal services on Combs in order to get. Yo.
So that's why it's better for you to read. Then I can get ad libs.
Yeah, yeah. No pun intended, probably. Nah, man. Yo, yeah. So asked to perform Actua on Combs in order to get a job, which they allegedly refused. Despite their alleged refusal, English claimed her partner was given a second chance if she agreed to work as a go-go dancer at Diddy's white party in the Hamptons that year. English allegedly began working Combs' parties on a more regular basis, where she was allegedly expected to flirt with guests and drink alcoholic beverages laced with narcotics like X. While she allegedly didn't have intercourse with guests at first, she claims that changed after Combs allegedly demanded she sleeps with the jeweler. Oh no, say it ain't so.
Jacob!
You don't need to know the last name. We're gonna skip because everyone knows who we're talking about.
We know who Jacob is. Kanye knows who Jacob is. I'm not gonna press it. You don't have to worry about that.
Who's also listed as a defendant in the suit after allegedly having forced intimacy with Jacob. She claims Combs congratulated her and paid her an additional $1,000. However, English alleged that it wasn't a one-time gig, claiming the "I'll be missing you" rapper expected her to be passed off to other people. Off pass. She claimed to have been assaulted by several other people who she did not name. English is also suing Tamiko Thomas, a woman. A woman. She claims facilitated the music producer's alleged trafficking operations. She likened Thomas to that was the first name that came to mind. She likened Thomas to Ghislaine Maxwell. That was the first person when I started reading that part about Tamiko Thomas, I was like, oh, this sounds like a Maxwell. Yeah, it is.
Put respect on her name. Haktu. The original Haktu.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. English claims she worked for Combs under the impression that he would help advance her career in music. However, she alleged that he used her career aspirations against her with threats to blackball her from the industry. Although she stopped working for the Bad Boy record exec after 5 years, English claimed he made good on his threats and ruined any chance she had in the music industry. English claims she suffered emotional trauma such as intimacy issues and painful memories as a result of the trafficking. She is seeking unspecified damages.
Sounds like he hired her for a reason. I'm not sure. She doesn't say she was getting paid every time, but it seems like she was getting paid for her troubles.
Yeah. Well, and the question is, you know what my issue is? I mean, and that's coming from a legal perspective, and I don't do criminal law, but the word grooming, what
What does
it's
it
not
mean?
like theft is clear. Something was there, it's not there anymore, so it was stolen, for example. Unaliving, the same thing. These things are objective, they can objectively be determined. But what is grooming? And is grooming the same as convincing? If someone convinces you, is that grooming? You've been there for 5 years. And at the end of the day, let's talk about self-defense. I always talk about it. People don't like it, but it is what it is. Self-defense, depending on what, and I'm talking about the not the states where you can just shoot someone and then ask questions later. I'm talking about usually when you defend yourself in a self-defense case, it needs to be defense. So oftentimes, what plays a role are the options. Did you have any other option? Could you have run away? Could you have hit one time instead of, poking seven? So these are all factors that play a role. And based on that, you can determine whether or not there is self-defense. But if you're talking about grooming, is it the same as convincing? If you didn't want to do something and I tell you, well, you can get 1,000 for it, do you want to? And you say yes, and you get paid for it.
That's grooming. Yeah.
So yes,
as a
because the feeling that I oftentimes get is that when they realize how deep
they're in,
and maybe they're crying all the time, they're hurting inside. I do believe that the intimacy issue is a real thing. It's like a real consequence that can come from that type of lifestyle. But my point is, when they look at that, then they go and look at the origin and say, hey, that person did this to me, that person did that to me. Yes, that person did convince you, but is that grooming, and isn't it your responsibility to a certain extent to not do so? So and then you get the discussion about ages, right? And the mind, because a 19-20-year-old person who wants is her mind is different than a 40-year-old person. It's it's less developed, and so but it's not clear. It's not like a clear line. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, but let's be honest as well. I hate this topic, to be honest, where people put age in because as a kid from 15 years old, you know what right is and what wrong is. You know right from wrong.
Yeah, you do, but you do.
A lot of times, one thing I can say about younger people, that what right is. People know what's right and what's wrong. It's the opportunism on that age that exceeds that right from wrong. Being able to you see an opportunity of making 1,000 and they just blur the lines at that moment, and then afterwards people start saying it's like the kid who pop smoke. He was 16. He know what he did wrong. You cannot tell me that if you're gonna rob someone, you didn't know what could happen. That's impossible. Go lie to your mama. Don't lie to me.
Yeah.